Okay, I'm gonna try again. Hi, Junior. Sorry, Junior. Is the sound okay now? I've got so many. I had I had my my Bluetooth phones on, and it may have messed everything up. Anyway, is the sound okay now? Ah, great, 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 Andreas. Thank you, Dominic. Hey, Dominic, how you doing? Andrew, I, uh, I, I think with every time there's I have it here. Every time there's a FedEx had been told to hide the address, so I did. Anyway, every time there's a FedEx thing, something happens. It's always something, and today it was something else too. Um, okay, I I just got to notice that the FedEx arrived. It's been about a half an hour. Okay, let me give you the story here. And here is a watch, and I am more than anxious to open it up. And so I thought, well, I'll do it live. I mean, really live, because I mean it's like still sealed and everything. Usually, I have some phony baloney thing. I've already opened it, But I thought, then I screwed up the sound, and it's always something. you know. Anyways, so let's see, Dominic, Andrew, Andreas. Let's see, Gregory. Hi, Gregory. Andy Candy. Hi, Andy. Okay, I guess it's a Rolex Daytona. Oh, don't give it away. It was Hey, Thomas. Okay, great. You should be able to hear. Before it was like what it was going through my headphone. That was on a Bluetooth. This ought to be nice and clear. Hey, football fan. Hey, Mask. How are you? Stefano. Okay, you guys ready? So I start wrestling this thing open. Okay, here goes. Ah, you got. There's always the other. These things are hard to open. Ah. Have to bring out the. Whoops. What's this? Okay. Better put that away. I don't want to knock a big hole. Hi, Adrian. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, this is interesting. Look what's in there. You're like, wait a minute. They forgot to put my watch in. Let's see what I got. It's a way they seal it. It's really done well, I gotta say. That's it. This is all it is. Okay. It's in this nice little case with a zipper. I don't think I have any cases with a zipper. Hi, John. Hey, HRM. Hi, Pack In. Okay. Um, so let's see what I got here. Now I got to see if it works. I got to wind it up. And let's see, the correct time is my Hermes for the correct time. And this one should be at, okay, 1:26. The 1 o'clock is there. Okay. And let me see, turn it to 26. And here it is. Let me get it all the way wound up. And I got to tell you, it's got a great story to it. All right, glasses on straight. Okay, here it is. This, you may remember this. This is my Chanel Monture. All right. So let me tell you what happened to it, and what I did, and the service that I got from Chanel. If everybody had service like Chanel has. Now remember, this was the one that involved Romain Gauthier, was one of the part of the design team who put this together. And then, if you can see it on the back, all of those parts are from Romain Gauthier's factory, I guess you'd call it, his where he did things. But the important things is this, is that this is what they sent me. I got a nice little, I don't know, carrying case. The case that I have that it came in is this big gorgeous case originally. And so here's what happened. Um, I got the thing from an outfit in San Diego called something like Belmont. Belmont was the name of it. Little shop in San Diego. Anyway, so I got it from them. I had what was a great price because for years I wanted one of these, and it's always been out of my price range. And I finally found one that was one of those times, when I had just sold a couple of watches. I had enough money, just enough to make it. So I got it, and it was fine for, I don't know, a little while. And all of a sudden, what I found was that it wasn't kicking over the time. All right. The minute hand was working fine, but the jumping hours weren't. The jumping hours weren't jumping at the same time. So I look at it at the same time. So I thought, well, something's wrong. So I went to the Chanel shop, which is just off of Fifth Avenue in New York. Now they have 3 Chanel boutiques there, and one of them is for to take your watch back if you want service on it. So I took it back, and my friend Fernando and I went, and I was expecting, I didn't know what to expect. So there were a couple guys who they look like bouncers on the outside. You go into a lot of shops in New York, and the you got these big guys on the outside or at the door, and they look you over. Now, Fernando and I look like no threat. I think they figured the girls inside could beat us up if we tried anything. So we go in there, and I told them, I said, I'm here for my watch. And I guess they don't have a lot of watch people go in there. So they said, oh, yeah. So go up to we're going to send you a shirt. They sent me up to the 6th floor. Now, remember, this is one of 6 boutiques that they have. So I go up on the 6th floor and wait, and this gal comes out, and we sit down at a little thing, and we go over all of this stuff. And I had brought all of my paperwork with me, which, by the way, too, was usually I don't care about paperwork. This time I did, because I bought it from, I guess it was the second person who bought it. Now, the thing is that she said, well, we got to send it back to Switzerland. And I thought, oh, good. That's not going to cost much. That's going to it's going to cost me the price of another watch. I had just got my FP Journe back from their service, and this was that they have a service center in Miami. They did a great job, and so, but they also were they lowered my bank account significantly. So anyway, so she said it'll take about 6 months. Got to send it back and have it fixed. I said fine, and gave her my address and everything. She said, when it's ready, either you can pick it up here or we can send it to you. Well, generally, I like going to New York just for looking at all the watch shops and everything. But this time around, it just wasn't a good time to do it. So I said, well, go ahead and send it to me. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have had to pay any bills in terms of fixing your watch, not to mention shipment and reshipment and everything else. But it's a lot. Okay. Another guy who I won't mention, whose name might be Michael, he had the same watch with the same problem. Now, I told Michael, I said, I think this is a good thing that I sent mine in, because if you send yours in and you have the same problem, they're going to see it more as a general problem and not something that, some watch collector banged it around too many times. And so the charges to fix it. Well, and so when Mike sent his in for the same problem, I thought, man, maybe they'll realize that we both are in the same boat. So anyway, the bill on this was unbelievable. It was zero. Nothing for the shipment to and from Switzerland, nothing for the shipment in FedEx back to me. It was cost us nothing. And, it was like, holy smoke. I've heard these horror stories from so many people about so many watches. So, and then instead of taking 6 months, because I wasn't expecting it until March, here I get it right before Christmas. I treat it as a Christmas present. So I think to go with a coal in my stocking. Anyway, that's my story about getting something serviced that is keeping perfect time now. And so if it is, as soon as the one pops over, I'm going to know that it's in great great shape again. So anyway, and then I got this nifty little box, with a book in it. I don't know what the book says. Oh my God, it's nothing but oh my goodness! Look at they gave with it. This is in addition. This is not my normal stuff. It's the it's everything about the repair on it. How cool. So I'm going to keep this in a safe place and see what else they have here. Oh, nothing. It's just sort of like a little booklet that I can keep track of things. And then if I have a problem with it, first of all, the first thing I do, I tell Michael and see if he has the same problem with it before I send it off. Anyway, guys, that is my unboxing. Now it's like getting a new watch again. I mean, there's nothing more depressing, I should say, than getting a really good watch. And I don't even want to talk about what these things cost new, because they're crazy. This particular one's in white gold. And like I said, I got a good buy on it. But the big thing was that what good care they've taken of it. So let's hear some other stories that you guys have about getting something repaired. You have mine. So let's see who we have here. I've been going down a lot. John, Dr. A and B. Hi, Professor. Eclo. Rancher, you're here. Good to see you. Don't you feel like changing ever feel like changing the Chanel? Not with this kind. See, the thing about Chanel is that they're very, very, very rich. That's the only way I can. Recently, they surpassed somebody of being the richest. And so they want to do something. They own what 20% of FP Journe. They own some what they call the friendly share of Romain Gauthier. And then they have Canisi for making their their J12 watches. I don't know if they do anything other than the J12 that they have with their Canisi watchmaking, or they have something else. But my God, I tell you, I mean, if I wish every watch company would say, "Oh, you need service? Fine, we'll take care of it." The other thing that's really great about this is that when you buy a pre-owned watch, you don't know what kind of shape it's in or condition or anything else. And so whenever I send in a watch for service, I sort of treat it as condition zero when I get it back. In other words, okay, now I'm starting all over with it again. And some of them will, it took about 5 years or 6 years maybe for my FP Journe. I had it, I think it was done back in 2017, and then it needed it again this year, so I had it done, and now it's in great shape. And my like I said, it it did something to my bank account. So anyhow, okay, so let's see what else you got. Hi, Just Tom, how you doing? Andrew, good to see you. Is it waterproof? Could you just go channel surfing? Oh God, I should have read that. No, I can't go Chanel surfing. I'll just I'll just have it. Let me show you this watch. This is a beautiful watch. It's got jumping hours and retrograde minutes. And and then on the back, it has all of that Romain Gauthier works to it. I know that he was involved in the design and creation of it. He didn't do all of it, but since Chanel owns a quote what they call a friendly share of the company, one of the things that Romain Gauthier is known for is they, for some reason, decide we want to make all of our own parts, and so they did, and they put all of those parts in this watch. Okay, let's see what else you got here. Echo must be the Chaumet. Yeah, no, it's the Chanel. Oh, let's see. Can't go across the channel. Didn't Rolex have somebody swim across the English Channel with a watch around her neck, and I guess she made it almost all the way before they had to fish her out. That was this one. This one isn't going to go anywhere near water. Not with. I don't care what they say. The how much you can take it down. It's not going down at all. Yeah, Dominic, I agree. Yeah, it's these things are expensive. These doggone watches we get are really expensive, and they should work without a problem. You shouldn't have to, better. I'm gonna, I gotta close this thing up. It looks like a um. Yeah, I agree. I think, man, I tell you, I wish they all treated this way. I sure wish, especially with the new high prices, I wish FP Journe would do that. Um, but they're I don't know. This watch. This is my double hairspring, and I've had this for years, and it's always worked beautifully. And I'm afraid if I had it go in for service, it would not be cheap. Did they give me an explanation, Michael? Did they give me an explanation of what needed to be adjusted? They didn't. They didn't. All you guys saw as much as I saw. when I opened that box, that was the first I saw of it. There wasn't much in there. They had this neat this they had this, and of course it was wrapped up. I'm going to keep that. I keep those for my own projects. Um, so anyway, um, hey Tim, how you doing? Hey Francie Gallo. Francie, there's no other way I know how to act. Oh, okay. It's 5 o'clock somewhere for Tim again. Hey, Chili Badger. Okay, I had similar treatment from Piaget. Amazing staff, wonderful people. Had to send a vintage piece back to Switzerland. Take care, Andrew. Stefano. Well, I had an Omega Speedy Moon 357650 service, luckily still under warranty for a malfunctioning moon phase. When I got it back, I noticed that the lever that actuate the cam from the start pusher was wrong from an 1861, therefore not beveled or finished. How embarrassing. Of course, I sent it back and everything turned out fine. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I am glad to hear that, Stefano. I'm glad they eventually did the right thing. I would rather have to send something back and have them do, well, of course, you'd want them to do the right thing and do it right the first time around. But I would take it also, the fact that they would say, hey, we screwed up, we'll fix it for you. I mean, that's the kind of watch you want to have. I mean, the kind of watch service. Hey, Andreas, when you opened the package, I feared for a second there was nothing in there. Or a clown jumps out. So was I. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I saw that. I looked in there and what? I they had told me when I went there, I had all my, they have I think it's like a long leather thing. You put it in, and then they have a box. They have all of this good stuff. So I said, well, would you like to have my use this for shipping it back and everything? And they said, oh no, we have our own shipping thing now. The one that FP Journe has, you get this really interesting box. Plus, you get a free when you have your FP Journe done. They charge like $800 for their straps, FP Journe, and so there's but then when you have them service your watch, they send you a free band. So I thought, wow. So you sort of can. In my head, I knocked that off the service price. This one, now here's another interesting thing. This one it's got a deployant on it, and I got to put that back together. They even have this wrapped up in stickers so that it doesn't scratch. And it's just a class act. I'll have to put that back together. But it has a gator strap. And, it's like if we send anything anywhere with a gator strap, it gets eaten up, and FedEx accuses us of being smugglers and killing endangered species. These guys do it, and nobody says boo to them. That was anyway. Yeah, this is whoever owned this before, I swear it has the original strap, and they just didn't wear it very much. You can see the kind of shape it's in. It's almost in perfect shape. Let's see if it's still keeping good time. Yes, it is. So that part I wanted to check. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me hear some stories. I want to hear some other service stories that you guys have. Have you had some good luck with it? Bad luck? Any luck? Yeah, everybody's lifting the glass to Thomas. I mean, to Tim. Same here. Where's my glass? It's not here. Okay. Anybody else got a good service story? Okay. All right. Now that we've had the unboxing, let me wrap this up. And this is what I wanted to mention. Some of you may remember when we started, we were going to do a brigade style watch, and then make it together. And we had all of the parts and everything. I've got mine. I keep finding new things that I have to do with it, but I've been keeping track. This has got the stickum stuff on it, so it doesn't. But this is where mine is so far. I think one of the things, the latest thing that I have to deal with, I've got to take it apart, and the hands, I've got to make sure the hands are all flat, and the hour hand is at the top, the middle hand is in the middle, and then the small seconds, none of them touch the other, but apparently they all gathered together at 6 o'clock and are having a party or something. So that's one of the things I have to fix. But I just wanted to remind you is that if you ordered all the parts, we're going to be starting on putting it together. And I was thinking of doing it in little bits. We'll just have a little bit, we'll do a little more bit and a little more bit. Had an Omega Kennedy Stockade watch from 1958, bought it for 900 euro and serviced it for 1350, but it was totally worth it. Yeah, this is some of the things that people have said, that they'll get a watch and it's not quite right, and they say, "Oh, gee whiz, I got a good deal on this, but it's sort of needs servicing." So you still have a good deal. You pay the service price on top of that, and you still have a good deal, for the most part. I had this Parmigiani, bugged a guy for almost a year. Literally, he and I went back and forth. I think it was from eBay. Real nice guy in New York, and I think he got tired of listening to him. I'll give you this, so he finally said, "All right, all right." So I sent him. I did something I would never do generally. I sent him a cashier's check to the address that he gave me. So I thought, well, I'll go to New York and get my watch if he doesn't send it. And so he sent it to me. And I just love this watch. But after about a year, the stem fell out and I really had to have it serviced. And so I sent it in for service. They hit me for about $1,000. This is Parmigiani in the Miami. And it was still worth it. And now it's sort of like, then it was at condition zero. It never had worked so well after Parmigiani did the service on it. So it's, it can still be a great deal, even if it does need service. And the other thing about having it serviced is that you sort of put it at a condition zero, okay, like having a new watch. That's the way I look at it. I don't know if that's right or not. Okay, what else you got? Did you miss it? William? No, you didn't miss it. It was, doggone it. You should have been here when we opened up, and guess what it was? It was a Philippe Dufour Simplicity. That's what it was. And sorry you missed it, man. No, it wasn't. I bought a baby Plop-Off, and had it serviced. Cost me 650 quid. Wow, about 5 years ago. Hi, Jose. I only have to say is that Here in Brazil, we have excellent service stores. Oh, that's great to hear. That is really good to hear. You know, some places you hear like, God, I wouldn't take it into a store here. They'll give me another watch back. So that's good. If anybody is from Brazil, is going to visit Brazil, take it into one of their shops. They'll do a good job for you. You know, Jose, I had my watchmaker that I had for years. I don't know what happened to him. He was about 80 something years old. The shop that I went to during the pandemic shut down. And then after the pandemic, I went back, and by that time, the shop had shut down, and I never heard or saw the guy again. He was Portuguese, and I swear the guy was a genius. He was the best watchmaker, and he didn't even have a time grapher. And somehow, when I took a watch in there to be adjusted, it would come back. I don't know. I think his head was a time grapher. Hey, Andy Candy. Oh, Thomas, you had to let the cat out of the bag. Here you go. This is what it was. Anyway, actually, it was repair too. Okay, I had my Glashudi Original Senator Curie. That is a watch I really like. I think that's a gem of a watch to have, by the way. Um, Service by Glashudi Original was perfectly done, and I received it back within 2 months. Wow. Total price was about $1,000, so not that expensive. Yeah, if you get used to saying $1,000 isn't that expensive compared to buying it new, yeah. But yeah, that was what I paid for my Parmigiani, and like I said, totally worth it. Especially on a really good watch. I don't think I think I would use my un unreliable watchmaking skills on a cheap watch of my own. I wouldn't want to send it in and have a really expensive service that was more than the watches were. In servicing only needed for say 5 to 10 years of constant wear. That's another thing too. One way that you can sort of extend the service life is to rotate. I rotate my watches all the time. And so a watch that would be worn, let's say 365 days a year, is only worn maybe 30, not even, yeah, about 30 days a year. And so you have about 1/10 of the wear going through rotation. So I like that. Got to run. Take care, Stefano. I'm glad you liked it. Chili. Okay, what are you guys up to? All right, you're talking about Rolexes. You're going to put everybody to sleep doing that. I tell you, you mentioned the Milgauss. I like the Milgauss, by the way, and I like the Milgauss when it was done with the anti-magnetic box. I don't know what they called it, but did you know that the same movement with the same box was in the Air King? That was, and I think they have an Air King with the dial I like, the Hound Dog dial, Hound Dog runner dial. That would be one I think would be fun to have. Would be the Hound Dog dial along with the Milgauss movement in it. Hi, Al29. The wear rotation theory makes. Okay, I'm glad. That's about the only thing worthwhile. Wow, I agree. Yeah, really, chili. I tell you, that's another thing too. I don't go by I mean, if my watch is working fine, I don't take it in to have it. I don't send it in to have it serviced. I think there's yeah, that's another thing too. When it was really messed up like it was, that would be a good time for service on it. But otherwise, you should get it serviced. I think two things here. One is have it done right. If you have if you know somebody, if you got my 80-year-old watchmaker, who's I don't know where he is. I hope he made it through the pandemic. Um, you have a good watchmaker locally. I think that's the way to go, just for lots of reasons. One of the big problems, no matter how good your local guy is, oftentimes they can't get the parts. Watch companies are really funny about parts. ETA, one of the reasons watchmakers love ETA watches is that, well, first of all, they're familiar with working with them, but also they can get the parts. I think the same is true with Solita. So the most popular watches you can have done, your local watchmaker. Your local watchmaker certainly should be able to do it. It's when you go beyond that, or you need something, you have a brand that's not going to let out the parts. This would be one example. If I ever run into problems again, I'm heading right back for that boutique on off Fifth Avenue in New York. Hi, James. Invicta. Oh, the history, the older Invictas are a lot of fun to have. Anyway, guys, I sort of stretched this video a little long. I wanted to have the unboxing. I thought there would be more to unwrap. It was done so simply. By the way, the special wrapping that they used, when I opened, I showed everybody, and it didn't look like there was anything in there very much. What they had done was that they had like a sticker cartoon, a cocoon, and so that there was just, I mean, the whole thing was padded, plus the fact that it was in this little thing here. I tell you, I got a feeling if somebody else in my household sees this, she's going to want it for herself. I want that. Give me that. At least I'll keep the paperwork. And this is sort of a cool thing. It's a little, you can use it for travel or something. Anyway, guys, thank you all for putting up with me and my the unboxing. Thanks for coming. Take care, and see you next time.